Lisa and I welcome Sierra Sil to our podcast. Got a grumpy old man in your life? Change that. Okay, not that way. Sierra Sil Natural Mineral Joint Pain Relief with a money-back guarantee at Shoppers, London Drugs, and the best health food stores.
Head over to sierrasil.com, SIERRASIL.com. Use your code GF and get 10% off your purchase.
Hello there. Here we are. Not the dirty dozen, but hopefully the funny dozen. And number 12, episode 12 of Gracefully and Frankly. I'm Erin Davis.
I'm Lisa Brandt, and we are thrilled that you are along with us again this week.
We are anything but a snooze fest this week, but we are going to talk about CPAP, which somehow sounds like a medical procedure for a woman, but it isn't. One of us diving into that world.
Yeah.
Plus another C, CBD.
Yeah, CBD is helping people rest and get to sleep and calm down and feel relaxed, but it sure is expensive. Once the province, in this case Ontario, gets its hands in something and adds all of its taxes to it, it can be kind of pricey. So we'll talk a little bit about that, my experience with that.
Absolutely. And speaking of prices, the dress that looks better than anything I've ever bought or worn because of its price. And it's not what you think. It's not what you think. And it's all ahead. And we want to thank Envy Pillow.
The only anti-aging certified natural latex pillow with advanced copper technology. We are thrilled that they are our sponsor. And Kim and Kathy, who created the company, made this sustainable, carbon neutral, fair trade company that has these wonderful pillows and accessories. And every time a pillow is ordered, Envy Pillow will plant 10 trees together with the Eden Reforestation Project. And that's all along with their money-back guarantee and all these other wonderful things they do. If you go to envypillow.com and decide to purchase a pillow, get 10% off by using the code GF.
Yeah, anything you buy there. It could be anything, and we're just so grateful to them both. Boy, that's so nice. Planting trees, catching Z's. Wait, is that Zeds? We're Canadian.
We are Canadian, but we're also international.
Yes, we are. Thank you if you are listening outside of Canada. See, we don't say oot, do we, huh?
Eh?
So, Lisa, you know the saying about Fight Club. The number one rule about Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club.
That's right.
I have to talk about our book club.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
Our book club? Our book club, Erin?
Well, it is because I made it your book club. I said, here, have this ugly baby. It's ours. Oh, shoot.
Okay.
So we got very excited in reading Mark Manson's The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. And the response on Facebook, on my page, and on our Gracefully and Frankly Facebook page, where we post all kinds of background stuff on what you're hearing in the podcasts when we remember. Where are the shoes? The shoes are up now. Shoes are up.
I know.
Yeah.
That's good. It's good.
So I thought, let's do a book club. And I've been part of different big Zoom events, but you know what the difference is? Somebody else coordinated them. And we had some really great advice. Thank you, Mally Bickley, who has done this kind of stuff. And I cannot get my head around the tech of it. And honestly, the anxiety, I think, would have sent me over the edge.
Well, it's just bigger than we imagined it was going to be when you proposed it. But the thing is, we could do it if we wanted to devote 2 full days a week to it, but we can't. And it is a big pig to take on, and it is anxiety inducing, definitely. So maybe it's something we can revisit.
Yes.
We can certainly discuss books on our page, but as far as getting the hundreds of people that wanted to join onto the same platform at the same time, that's more than you and I can do. So it's a bigger bite of an elephant than we're willing to take off right now.
It is. So I apologize because I leapt in here and I said, Lisa, we're doing a book club. And you know what? Somebody once told me never say yes when you're in a really good mood. Never say no when you're in a bad one. And, you know, when I get together with you, we just spark off each other and I get all these great ideas. Let's do a cruise together. Let's do a trip together. And let's do a book club. And there's so many things that go into these things. I think that in our lives in radio, we have had the benefit of so many magicians behind the scenes. Right. You know, the hand up your skirt that makes the puppet talk and move. So that didn't sound right. But anyway, let's just say Muppets. Okay, that's fine. That's not dirty. But you know what I mean? It's just you've got this whole team behind you, and we are our team. We don't have a millennial or a Gen Z living in the house who can say, move.
Right.
We don't have that.
We do it all ourselves to whatever degree you think that's good or bad. It's just you and me, baby.
Yep, it's homegrown, and we're awfully proud of this podcast. So maybe we just stay in our lane. That's my mantra, Lisa. I will stay in my lane. Until next time.
Yeah. Until next time you come up with a great idea and tell me we're going to do it. But, I know it comes from a good place, and it actually made me giggle because it was part of the enthusiasm of doing this. And that's not a bad thing. I wouldn't want to stifle that. As it turns out, it stifled itself.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just go with the flow, right? You don't have to control everything. See how it goes.
That's right. And again, that goes back to what we were talking about last week of not having to be in control of your surroundings. And very briefly, I don't want to keep going back to things in case people haven't heard episode 11 of Gracefully and Frankly, available anywhere you download podcasts. But I was talking about, I'm learning a lesson now. I'm in a process of learning to stop worrying about the feelings in the room. And it came to fruition last week. I was at a surprise birthday party for my aunt, and everyone was seated at a very long table. There were 18 of us. The birthday girl and her husband were seated right in the middle on the same side of the table. So there were people at the ends of the table who had come from afar, which can be off the island or up island, Vancouver Island here. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, we should maybe move around at dessert time so everybody gets a chance to be with. And then I stopped myself in my tracks and went, this is not your party. You did not plan it. People are adults. If they want to talk to Laura or her husband, they're going to move. And sure enough, toward the end of the dinner, the birthday girl moved to the head of the table and chatted with the people who hadn't had a chance yet. So that was my lesson, and I saw it out to the end. You know what? It works. It works when you work it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, everything new takes practice, right? And I mean, we have this learned behavior that we've been discussing about making sure everybody in the room is having a good time and sort of monitoring that. So it's going to take some time to unlearn it. And the fact that you caught it, and I mean, that's fantastic. What more could you ask for?
Compliments on a dress. And I did, and it's the funniest story, and I'll tell you in a second. Lisa, are you like me? Do you find that something just looks better on you when you know you got it at a really great discount?
Sometimes, yeah.
Or sometimes you look at it and go, oh, that's why it was $7.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right? Yeah.
Well, first of all, I have to thank you. Such a friend she is that personal shopper Lisa Brandt went not to Nordstrom to get something before the store closed. No, not to Holt Renfrew. My friend Lisa drove all the way. How long was your drive?
Oh, it's about an 8-minute drive, Erin. 8 minutes.
8-minute drive to St. Thomas and bought me tank tops from Giant Tiger simply because I mentioned how much I miss them. I've sized out of them. The ones that I have now are kind of like little bathing suit cover-ups. So you went and bought me some and popped them in the mail. That is the kindest thing. And I love the price.
Oh, the price is fantastic. And it's an opportunity to go to Giant Tiger. Well, I have to go to the Tiger because I need to go for Erin.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's a fun errand. I would love to do that for a living. Shop for somebody.
Well, how much were those tank tops? Like, I think they were about $9 or even less.
$8 or $9 each. Not a lot, that's for sure.
Yeah, and so I love them more. I love them because you sent them. I love them because they're cheap, cheerful, and they work on me. So you and I and our friend Anita, we went shopping only a few times when we were in Maui together. And the mall that we went to had a Macy's. You could have fired off a cannon in there, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah. I was surprised at how empty it was. They've got beautiful stuff.
They really do. They're kind of like the Bay, but up a notch. So maybe between the Bay and Nordstrom. And they were having a big sale that day. And I grabbed some shirts and stuff. We were all trying things on. And I go into the dressing room, and you and Anita were standing right outside the dressing room. And there's this dress hanging in there. And I have to describe it. It's got a high neck. And from one shoulder down to the waist, It is a creamy white. It's a thick wool material, like a thick jersey, sort of a knit. And so it's on the bias. It's got this slash that goes from the shoulder down to the waist, and that right sleeve is that creamy white color, and the rest is black, and it goes to about 4 inches from the floor. So I saw this dress, and I thought, oh, this is great. And I looked at the size, and it's my size. So I put it on, and I came out, and you guys, well, I'm going to have a sip of coffee while you tell me what your reaction was.
Oh, we nearly fell off our feet. We could not believe it. Looked like it was tailor-made for you, Erin. It just was stunning. The fact that it was waiting for you in the dressing room from somebody who abandoned it or whatever, and then looked so perfect on you. We couldn't believe it. We're like, buy it, buy it, buy it.
And then this is the best part. Thank you for those compliments. It was regularly $129 US, marked down to $34.99. It was a $35 dress.
Yeah. Designer dress.
Anne Klein.
Right. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I couldn't get over it, Lisa. I was sure that whoever had put it there was coming back with a stack more dresses. But we were the start the car people with that one. Grabbed the dress. So I put this dress on the other night, got some pictures in it because I'm just so thrilled with this dress, and wore it to this dinner party. And this gentleman, this friend of my aunt, says to Rob, because we kind of know him, he said, your wife looks stunning in that dress. And Rob says, go over and ask her how much it was.
That's awesome.
Yes. So anyone who said anything about that dress, I just start going, yeah, and it was $35. I'm so bad at this. Like, I should be able to pull off these kind of bargains and stuff. And I will post a picture at our Gracefully and Frankly Facebook page. But here's the thing. This dress, which I augmented with my own belt because I've got belts from years and years in Toronto. You and I used to go to Frida's, King and Bathurst, and buy these belts that were like a paycheck. But boy, good stuff holds up, right?
I used to call mine the belt that goes with everything, because in order to afford it, it would have to be worn with everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just say the belt was about 8 times the cost of the dress. So, as they all were. And so I put my own belt with it, and I've got my favorite boots, but I think I'm going to wear it when I'm on national TV next month. I might be the only guest ever who shows up in a $35 dress on CTV's The Social. What do you think?
The point of that is, I think nobody would ever imagine it was a $35 dress. This is a designer, beautiful. You're not going to see anybody else in it. There weren't racks and racks of them. And I think it's the fact that it was only $35 to you is just icing on the cake. Of course, you can't eat cake because that dress is so nice and tight and slim, but
it won't fit anymore.
That's right.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to do. I told a lie. I'm not going to put my picture up on our Facebook page. People will have to wait and set their PVRs for April 13th. Lucky April 13th. It's a Thursday. CTV, The Social. Be there. There you go.
Nice. You will never believe that this was a $35. Well, it's not a $35 dress. You got it for $35. It's a gorgeous dress. So
I can't even figure out why. I don't know why.
The deal's there, though. I bought a sleeveless shirt with a bow tie, like a blouse, that I thought I would wear on Zoom calls, with sweatpants. And I think it was $9.
Wow.
The deals there were crazy, and we were having an awful lot of fun going through them.
We were, but you know what was weird? When I checked out, they asked for my email and said, would you like to get X amount off or whatever, join the Macy's Club or whatever. And I thought, okay, can't hurt. So I get an email that says 20% or 15% off your next purchase. So I had to go back to the mall because we had other guests and Alan wanted to go to the mall too. And I said to them, how do I use this? Oh, that's for online purchases. Okay. Why are you killing yourselves?
Yeah.
Why kill the brick and mortar when I walked into that store again to spend more money based on this discount? I don't get it, Lisa.
Well, maybe they're seeing where the future's going and that they're going to end up being online like so many other stores are. Like, did you know Black's Photography still exists? Most people don't even know they exist because they're not in malls anymore, but they're exclusively online. I use them all the time. Part of me laments it and thinks, it's very sad. And part of me thinks, well, this is another revolution we're undergoing. And maybe that's the way of the future. Maybe that's just how it's going to be. It's like the Jetsons. I want Rosie here cleaning my house. But at the same time, I want to be able to press a button and have what I've ordered fall out of my wall.
You're right. And I think that, like so many things, I do another podcast for the Canadian Real Estate Association, and they have said that any futurists that they had, the predictions that they made for the next decade were sped up exponentially by COVID, the people working from home, the purchasing online. And I learned this past week, and you probably knew this already, that if you order on Amazon, you get $7 off if you go and pick it up yourself. And I'm down with that. I've got a post office nearby I can pick my stuff up at, and then I know it's not sitting out on the front door if we're away for a few days. Have you noticed that?
Oh, I did not know that. But then again, I live in such a small little hamlet that I wonder if it would be the same for me. Do you think, or if I'd have to go to St. Thomas or London or something to make that work? We do have an Amazon fulfillment center, though. Maybe I could just drive up and have them throw it at me. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. That sounds good to me. Being in Vancouver a few weeks ago and seeing where Nordstrom is, it's got such a huge footprint in downtown Vancouver. And you think, okay, what's going to go in here? And then you take a whiff around and you think, oh, it's going to be a cannabis dispensary. Because, oh my God, you get high just walking down the street in Vancouver. It's something else. Do you like the smell of marijuana?
I don't mind it.
Ugh, I hate it.
I don't like to ingest it. It bothers you, does it?
Well, it just does. It's stinky. Yeah. And I'm all for, hey, whatever floats your boat. If it doesn't hurt me, go ahead, do it. I don't care. But it's just the smell. It's skunky. It's cloying. It really is, to me now, the scent of Vancouver and so many other cities, of course. But, when you got gummies or something like that, or even vaping without the giant cloud, go for it.
We have been taking CBD gummies, no THC in them, so they don't get you high. But my issue, and it's funny, it's been ever since my mom passed away, this will be 3 years in September. Ever since my mom passed away, I have trouble falling asleep. And it's got nothing to do with her, but maybe it has to do with the fact that I lived at her place for a few months. I don't know. But the trouble is with falling asleep, and I don't ruminate about anything. There's no anxiety. It's just laying there. And so I got the gummies to ease me into sleep, and they actually work. And they taste good. They're like having a little candy before bed. And they do, but they're so expensive.
Wow.
Like $3 a piece. It's too much. It's just too much. I'm not willing, even though it works, to pay that kind of money for them. I think that I'm going to shop around a little bit. We're actually not far from Oneida of the Thames reservation.
Okay.
And there are tons of CBD and marijuana shops there. And we might go check them out and see if it's better.
Have you ever priced out, like if you took, say, and I'm just going to throw some brands out there or some names like Xanax or Ativan or any of those, how much do those pills come out per? Do you know?
I don't know, but I do know I can't get a prescription for them for that. My doctor will not give me a prescription. When we were in Mexico, I could have bought hundreds over the counter, but because they have addictive properties or whatever, she will not give them to me. I did get 10 Ativan for flying, and I probably still got 8. It's just my own sort of bias about what I think things are worth. You know what it is? You look at certain things, it's like, okay, this is a candy. It's got this ingredient in it, but that's mainly just residue from something else that they're mixing in. I've decided in my pointy little head that it's just not worth it, even though it's helping. So how dumb is that?
It's not dumb. It's not dumb. You may have to look at it from a different viewpoint. You make a lot of money in your freelance work, and if you're not awake and aware and sharp, you're spending more time to make that same money. So is $3 worth a good night's sleep? You know what you and I have paid for good pillows, and we have, thank you, Envy Pillow. But also, you've paid for a good mattress. What is a good night's sleep worth? You don't look at it as a candy, but look at it as something that is going to, okay, this is it. With this $3, that is the price of probably a coffee in downtown Port Stanley, I am getting a good night's sleep.
Well, here's the other thing. All it does is get me to sleep. It doesn't keep me asleep. So I'm going to be getting a CPAP machine because I do have obstructive sleep apnea. And I'm kind of wondering how that's going to affect the overall thing. If that's going to help put me to sleep, maybe that's going to be the entire solution. So I've been trying to avoid getting this machine for years, and now there's no question I absolutely have to have it or get a heart attack or something. So I'm kind of thinking, since I have to spend and go through that whole thing, maybe it'll be my panacea.
Maybe. And don't forget, Lisa and I have absolutely no benefits. We've got everything we pay, everything we're prescribed, we're paying for ourselves, right?
Out of pocket, that's for sure. Yeah.
So will you walk us through this whole CPAP thing as it happens? I know it's not something that you strut about like your Fluvogs or my Anne Klein dress or something like that.
Oh, no.
This is the latest in CPAPs, but they are so common. I mean, every time you go through airport security, somebody's got their apparatus and that sort of thing. And it's become more of a fact of life.
Yeah.
As long as I've known you, Lisa, you've been doing sleep tests at night. You've taken so long to kind of really embrace this thing. And so now you've finally decided this is it, eh?
Well, the test sort of decided it for me because I was always sort of on the edge. It's like, okay, you're sort of in a trouble zone, but not quite. And then the last test, it was quite clear that it's gotten a lot worse. And so basically the soft palate, everything at the back of your throat closes up and you stop breathing. And that's not good for your heart. I'm not a doctor, but I know that not breathing is counterproductive to living.
I've heard that.
And it's turned into, and this is the most embarrassing part for me, it's turned into terrible snoring. And at first my husband used to say, oh, sure, it's cute. And now he's like, would you call a jackhammer cute? So this is going to take care of that. It's nothing I can help without the CPAP. So that's what I got to do. I mean, I've lost weight. I've done whatever. I've done everything I can. Sleep on my side, blah, blah, blah. So there's nothing left but the CPAP machine.
What do they cost?
Thousands, I guess. But I also understand that I will need to pay 25%. OHIP will cover a lot of it when it's on a prescription. So
good.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that bad.
All right. Well, keep us posted on that. And this is where we say, I've suggested to Lisa going to sleep to drift with Erin Davis sleep stories, but you just can't. For one thing, you don't wear your hearing aids to bed and you don't want to miss a minute or anything I have to say.
No, I have listened to it. I have listened to it several times, but just not for its intended purpose. Yeah. So now hearing aids, CPAP, what's next? Iron lung. So yeah.
We'll be posting the GoFundMe for Lisa and the medical apparatus just shortly.
I know it sounds like there's a laundry list of things wrong with me, but really I'm a healthy, happy person.
You are. And if you make a donation now to Lisa's health plan, we will double it before midnight tonight.
Don't you dare.
I wouldn't. No, it's like book club. I'm not freaking going there, okay?
What's the first rule about book club?
We don't talk about book club. Got it. Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Do I sound like
Not yet. I mean, no.
Fair enough.
Oh, God. And finally, this week, we have to get to something. You know how we said, throw us your ideas for topics, and don't be offended if we don't use them, because quite often we don't even use our own.
Right.
Lisa has been wanting to talk about eyebrows for so long. So go for it, Groucho. Way you go.
The only thing I ever thought about eyebrows was there should be two of them. And the first notice that there was a lot of attention being paid to eyebrows back when William and Kate got married in 2011. I remember looking at her face and thinking, oh my God, you beautiful woman, what have you done? Why have you drawn on these eyebrows? And then I started looking around and it was like, everybody is fussing with their eyebrows to a degree that I never noticed before. And drawing them in different shapes. And I know there are some women, some people who have different illnesses and stuff.
Alopecia is one.
They lose their eyebrows and stuff like that. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about tremendous enhancement. And then there became all these different ways to care for your eyebrows. And you must moisturize your eyebrows. You must thread your eyebrows. You must do all these things. And I missed out on the eyebrow train. I did not spend much time on my eyebrows except to make sure there were 2 of them.
You know what? Our mothers, being of that age, born probably in the 1930s, my mom had a friend, I remember her, she had her eyebrows tattooed on, and they were so black that they over time turned green because that's what tattoo ink did back in the day. And Doreen may have had no eyebrows. I don't know what her story was, but as a kid, you noticed the eyebrows. And Priscilla Presley, she was about the eyebrows and the beehive and all that too. And then we kind of went natural and everybody was bushy and then in the 70s, they were pencil thin plucked. Remember those?
We're still talking about eyebrows, right?
Oh, yes, we are.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And then just kind of went natural. And there are women in different countries who have brought their traditions here, like threading. And of course, there's waxing. I've had eyebrow tattoos called blading, where they do little tiny cuts and then fill it in with ink. And for the first couple days till they scab off, you really do look like Groucho Marx. You look like every woman you're talking about. I've had that done. I've used eyebrow dye because you see, when the thyroid kind of gives up, often the sign of it is your eyebrows are no longer visible past the half, past the high mark.
Right.
So I've done that. They are, to some women, I think, a frame, like a picture frame. If your eyes are the picture, the eyebrows are the frame. But to your point, I think that the frame should not be the picture.
Yeah. And it's not a judgmental thing. It's more of a noticing thing. Like, oh, wow. Like, how long does it take to do what she's doing?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I have filled mine in a little bit, but I don't do a heck of a lot with them other than just let them be. I know my mom plucked hers to the point that they were so thin that she ended up with almost no eyebrow. And she used to constantly, I think I was 3 when she started telling me, don't pluck your eyebrows. It's just a thing that I didn't notice. And then all of a sudden it seemed to be everywhere. And in the movie The Whale, Hong Chow, who played the caregiver, she's more complicated than that, but anyway, her eyebrows are completely natural, totally natural. And it actually gave me kind of the heebie-jeebies.
Really?
I wanted to lean in with tweezers and just start plucking like crazy, but I could not.
She had just had a baby in real life, and she said it was just so awesome to embrace her inner fatigue and just be.
Right. And good for her. And I guess that's what it comes down to is like, it's not so much me looking at other eyebrows. It's other eyebrows looking at me and going, wow, she just doesn't care about her eyebrows. They're just hanging there. I don't know. I just feel like I missed out on a whole trend. And it's too late now. What am I going to do?
For all the hours that Brendan Fraser had to spend in the makeup chair, Hong Chow probably waltzed in with her Starbucks and then just, went straight to set, it sounds like. Yeah. If I hadn't learned my lesson about the book club and blurting things out, I would tell everybody to buy the new Gracefully and Frankly magnetic eyebrows.
Wow.
I have the magnetic lashes that my sister gave me. You put on some magnetic liner and then these things just go and they stick on your eyelid. But magnetic eyebrows available at the place. They're not, but do you want to?
Well, they have to be big enough to have a little Gracefully and Frankly logo on the end.
Of course. We'll put a G on one and an F on the other. Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, that's about all we've got to raise our eyebrows about this week. Talking about sleep problems and oh, my gosh. It has been so much fun. Episode 12, a dozen. And you want to try and do this again next week and see what else I'm going to blurt out about something we should do?
Absolutely. That's what makes it so much fun. It's one of the things that make it so much fun. And thanks so much to NB Pillow for the sponsorship, and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah.